What's going on, team? I'm excited that you're here with us, ready to be able to just profit from this week. One thing I want us to do is I want us to actually take a look at the markets. What I was looking at is, the dollar index, Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, Nasdaq, and as well US 30. I want us to be able to just break it down so you can see how I see the markets and how I prepare myself for a successful trading week. But yeah, man, one thing that you can do is just take out your laptop, phone, whatever that you have close by, so you can be able to just compare my analysis with your analysis. This way you are able to grow much more faster. By the way, I've noticed that a lot of you guys do watch my video, you find value from it, but maybe you have forgot to hit the subscribe button. So you can hit the subscribe button. You don't even have to turn the notification bell on. All you have to do is just hit the subscribe button. Automatically, this will help you be able to just learn more on the videos that I have coming up next. So let us now dive deep into the charts. Starting off first, I want to look at the dollar index just to see how it closed, on Friday, and as well what we can expect for this week, how we can go about taking advantage of, the dollar index. Because one thing I can see is that Friday, with the candle closes that it gave us, it was more of a breakout out of this whole structure that happened here. So with this, basically, we see price go up. So even with our previous session, you can easily go back and see, we mentioned that if price happens to break above here, we would want for it to continue rising all the way upwards. So yes, this we drew on Friday, but let me just remove it and then work on what is currently happening. So with this, I can see this was more of a, it went, it didn't break, it came back, a retest, went above, it only broke around here at this area here. This is when it broke. Friday at night around 9 is when it actually did decide to break, and then it came a bit more down. But now we're here. We still see that we are here at resistance, but with already what has happened, just by going to the 60-minute, I'm picking up that price has broken above, and right now I can even remove this, but right now it's just more on, because if I can just draw this up, I can easily see that okay, price is giving me higher highs, higher lows, didn't break the higher low, so it's still a valid higher. In fact, it gave an engulfing here, so which means the price is more likely to go up. First target is going to be here, and then next, if it breaks above this area here, we're coming all the way here. So what I'm more likely to do is I'm just going to refine, have this be more like this, have this be more like this, so that even if price decides to, let's say for instance, because I know with the looks of it, price might potentially just get somewhere here, maybe really go back down, third touch, and then that's when we see that push all the way upwards. This is with the dollar index. I know more likely price can play something more like this. So we'll just have to observe and see how or what actually is going to be happening on the dollar index. So this is actually what I'm looking at right now, which means that buys, it's a buy movement, and if it does sell, it's more like a short-term type of a trade. So yeah, let me use this information on Euro USD and as well gold, on GBP USD. So the previous week we were looking at this, price was still somewhere around here when we had our session. Price was somewhere around here, and then we mentioned that there's a higher chance that price is going to re-come back. It will be much more better. In fact, I was looking at the 15, and I was like, entry is going to be better if it comes here at this area, and then we're able to find an entry here so that it continues to go down with us. And yes, I can see price done exactly that. It went to the area, gave that entry, and then it went all the way downwards. So what I'm seeing now is we still didn't hit take profit, which take profit is supposed to be here. So with this, my understanding is that what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to refine this, because let me just go back to the daily just to see how candle closed on the daily. And with the looks of it, candle here closed impulsively to the downside, which you can see we've had bearish. So we are looking into bearish coming here, which is being our first take profit. And then if it respects this, maybe it holds the support, it will go back up. But because we're looking at the dollar index as well gaining strength, which means that if the dollar is gaining strength, that means that the USD is actually going to be selling, going all the way down. Okay, Euro USD is going to be selling. So what I'm more likely to do is I'm just going to come to the 4 hour. And on the 4 hour, I can see it's also very clear with already the naked eye, because I can see impulse, correction, impulse, and there's the yana correction, and then the next impulse going all the way to the downside. We could easily just spot that right here, prices now impulse, now it's correct, it's giving this young correction. So just to have a clear understanding is when I go to as low as the 60-minute, one thing that I like about this week is that it confirms our analysis that we saw the previous week, which is just a confirmation. So here what I'm more likely to do is this is just a continuation pattern. You can even see more like this, a continuation pattern, which is obviously this impulse and this correction, this impulse and this correction, which means that impulse coming all the way down to here. Okay, which means that impulse. So with this already here, we broke the low. Let's say if I was looking for entry, I was gonna say I'll wait for price to break the low and then go back down to come back here, 15-minute candle. Maybe let's say I would be looking at this candle before entry, and already it has been tested. You can see here it has been tested. So if there was entry was going to be here at this candle, just like this previous trade that we saw here. It's going to be more like the same thing, stop loss and then take profit all the way down. But since now obviously it's still a Monday and the market is moving well, I can't complain, I can't lie. But the one thing that I can also rather do now is, there's two ways. Price already has broken below here, which means that this could also be a trade, but this is going to be less of a great risk to reward, so I wouldn't really take this. But what I'm more likely to take is price is gonna, and then once it comes back to give a young retest somewhere around these areas, that's when I'm gonna take that sell, because it'll be retesting here at this area, and that's when I'll be continuing that sell. But truly speaking, this is gonna be a beautiful trade, and this is actually gonna be shooting all the way down until it gets here. Once it gets here, it will guide us to see where exactly is it going to continue moving. So this is amazing. This is really moving well. And obviously, if I can just use some management lines just to manage it and see, you can see I'm taking it from this being our first touch, lower high, second lower high, which means that even now when price happens to, I can even take it from this one here just to be on the safe side. So which means that even now when price decides to break and come back to retest, it's more likely to come back around these lines, giving us a third touch. Okay, giving us a third touch of this lower high. So it's more likely to come back around these areas and then continue going all the way downwards. So this is also going to be a clean one. It's going to be a beautiful week with this one here. Let's see GBP USD. I believe it's more like the same thing. Yeah, GBP USD, more like the same thing. If you guys remember the previous week, we were looking at price was still here, and we mentioned it coming down, breaking below here, and at least going up to retest here for an entry, then going back down. See, price respected this bottom here. It didn't break below, but it went up, and then once it got here, you can see it went literally back up to that entry level we're looking at. And we're mentioning that price would be a short-term move, because this area here where it's at, this is the area that we're targeting right here. And you can see price activated and went all the way down, which this was a 2% trade. So what I'm going to do now is, this is previous week. I'm not going to use this. I want us to look at the new week, entered with a clean new mindset. And luckily the price is moving well like this. It's just confirming, what we can expect. Because what that means is that, yes, the dollar index is gaining more power, and, GBP might see it selling compared to the dollar index. And as well, looking at it here, at this 90% rule that we're looking at, we're still looking for price to come and target at these areas here. So what this just automatically means is that, I can see this was our lower high. This is the new lower high. So price basically came back to retest here at the previous lower highs. And as soon as it gave this engulfing candlestick, you can see this engulfing candlestick right here. This would have been a nice clean entry for a sell. Obviously, stop loss just being above, and then take profit being here, as long as it's more than a 3%. Let's see. Yes, 3%. That's dope. That's beautiful. But as well, what I'm seeing is, because here where we are, you can simply see we are now in this area of support, which means that there's a high chance that price can break below. And then what I'm more likely to do is, I'll rather wait for a break and a retest type of a structure. So let's say, for instance, this is where my new structure high is going to be. Instead of using all data, I'm just going to use the most recent, which is right here. And then once price is broken below here, I can see this was higher high, let's say higher high, higher low, higher high. But with this breakout here, it broke this higher low, which means that now it's changing structure. It's no longer higher highs, higher lows. It's now lower low, then lower high, then lower low, then lower high, and so on. So I'm going to wait for price to form a new lower high Once it forms a new lower high, it's where I'm going to look into enter at that lower high, which means that somewhere around this level here is where I can enter. Stop loss now is going to be nice and tight because it's no longer going to be huge. It's just going to be 20 pips. Let me just put it here, 22, it's fine. Then look at what I can potentially do to the risk to reward just by being patient. I can have it be now a 4. It's no longer a 3. The risk to reward became a 4 now. So, and as well, if I can just use my management line, which is going to be something more like this, taking it all the way from here, first touch, second touch, which means that what I'm saying is price closes below, price goes a bit up for a retest, third touch as well, and then it continues choosing its direction to the downside. Let us now look at US30. So with US30 as well, we were looking for price to come back, retest somewhere here, then continue going down. I can see the retest happened. It's just that this spike out here could have took maybe a lot of people out because of, let's say, if stop loss was going to be above here, this spike could have took you out. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to be evolving this line. So I'm going to remove this, clean this out, and focus more on what price is saying. So right here I can even see prices pushing upwards, even though this is more like a third touch, but it's breaking upwards impulsively. So and it's breaking highs, it's creating higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and so on. So what I'm more likely to do is I'm going to go to the 60-minute, and then on the 60-minute, right here, I can easily see that there's a high chance that we are coming for first take profits would be somewhere here at these lower highs. Let me remove this. First take profit somewhere here. And then also would be looking at this area be our next take profit, but this is going to be for future tens. For now, I just want us to focus on the first take profit so we can capitalize as much as possible. And then just by having a channel here at the top, I can also put this more like this, more like this, more just like this. So what I'm not going to be doing is that I see a lot of people do the mistake of seeing that this is first touch, this is second touch, and then third touch, even though this is second touch, third touch, and this is the fourth touch. A lot of people, what they do is that once it gets here, they think it's too overbought, and then you see them selling all in their sell, and they want to go all the way down. I don't like that method because it goes against the trend, because truly speaking, this thing is buying, it's not selling. So you can't be looking for sells in an uptrend market, you understand? So it's not gonna make sense for me in such cases. I'm only looking for buys up until I get the right opportunity, because what this could do is, already looking at it, this is the first touch, second touch, third touch, fourth touch. Mind you, the more price touches a specific area, let's say a specific zone, that zone becomes weak, and when it becomes weak, it means that it's easier to be broken out, which means that this is the fourth touch, which means that there's a high chance that it can break out. It's not going to respect it because now it has tested the zone many times, more than 3 times. You understand? So what I'm more likely to do now is I'll rather wait for a nice clean buy setup. But how that buy setup is going to be is, already I can see this area here is previous resistance. Previous resistance, price broke above, and you see it came to test the support, and here I can see we are now here at an area of resistance, obviously, like I did mention, but because we are buying, we're not going to be looking for sells. But with this area, it looks like price can just continuously go hit take profit. But for me to be involved in this trade, I'd rather wait for a young retrace on which the market moves in. If it moves in its own way, meaning that it can move up, and then you see it now moving more like this, and then continuing to go back up. So for me to be involved in US30 for now, I would rather wait for it to give me a nice clean third touch here, because here it makes, like, let's say if I get it here and stop loss is, let's say here, because this is a gap, and there's a high chance that it might come back to close up this gap. It's not too safe, because once it goes below here, it will take me out of the stop loss. So it's not the safest area for me to buy, but here it's safe, because if it breaks below, let's say here, it changes, it means that my setup is wrong. It's changing direction. But obviously I'm not going to put my stop loss there. I'm just going to put it in accordance to the candlestick signal that I would have got. But it's just, it has a much more chances of like it's a high winning trade compared to me just wanting to be in this trade because I see it's going up. And yeah, so I feel like that's just one of the reasons you need to open up your mind in terms of what the market is more likely to do. So that's just how I'm going to be looking at US 30. And with this gap that happened here, it shows that there's a lot of buying power. It's just that you can't just buy here. And I know people that are obviously going to buy now because they don't want to wait for the market to do whatever. They want to be in the markets, but for me, it's not too profitable. It's one of those setups that can play with your emotions for too long. And I don't think they're worth it. So that is US 30. Let's just check US Tech. US Tech as well. Let's just start off first with the daily since it's a new week. So I can see with the daily, nice hammer here. We hit this area here, which was more of like support areas. Price came back. Now it's going up. So there's a high chance that we might be going all the way back upwards. So obviously that's also going to be directed with the dollar index if it's continued to be bullish, pushing upwards. But with this, I can see that this was like a low double bottom. You can see this first bottom, second bottom. Price went above, it broke above. Price higher low, higher high, higher low, and now it broke the high. So which means that now we are in a clean upward trend. So what I'm more likely to do is you'll just see me going a lot to the 60-minute time frame, guys, because of it's much more comfortable for me to find entries and all those things. I just want to delete this, remove this. So let me go to the 60. So let me just clean this out. Clean this out. There we go. So on the 60, I can see we have this area. We also have this area. And price basically broke above. And right now, we could be targeting this as our new take profit areas. And now price is obviously impulsing all the way upwards. And catching a trade here was also going to be hard because you wouldn't necessarily, and this happened like, look at the times, 2 a.m. You wouldn't necessarily put your stop loss here because you wouldn't really know if this is the area where price wanted to retest on. But with this, even if it does hit take profit here, because yes, there's a high chance it might go hit here. There's a high chance as well that it might even just not get there yet. But just by taking this from the low to the second point here, which is here, understanding the markets, it's never when I just shoot up all the way till it gets to the top. No, it doesn't work like that. It moves in ranges, in phases. So right now it's in an impulsive phase, but it might start a new correction, which is Monday today, guys. It's gonna trap a lot of people on the wrong side. I mean that people are gonna think that, oh no, it's going up now, I'm missing out. Then they wanna be buying, and then maybe later on or in the AMs or tomorrow is gonna start just ranging a bit, coming back down to restructure itself for a nice clean entry. And a lot of people are going to be holding negatives for the whole week because they bought early. And just when they get impatient, maybe let's say they've been holding Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday negatives. Thursday we see a nice clean setup because price came to retest. Yeah, stop loss just below, take profit all the way up. Find out that we take a trade in 2 days already, or in a day, it goes all the way up to 4%. And then some people, because of the fact that they were impatient, find out that they miss out on this specific opportunity because of now it's going down. They feel like they're losing. Mind you, that person bought here. So he's holding losses, he's holding. Now he's like, you know what, I can't deal. I'm closing this. In fact, it's selling. I'm selling. They close it here. They sell. It gives them small profits. Then it goes back up. Now we enter. When it goes back up, now they're back at negatives and they feel like the market hits them, it goes against them. But it was just because of the fact that they were impatient. Okay. So with us now, what I'm seeing is just price coming back to retest somewhere here. Then once price gets here, price going back upwards. So let me just see if I can use the Fibonacci tool. Yes, so with the Fibonacci, I can see from the lower high to the low, price gave us here, it retraced at the 60% level, which means that this is calling me out for a godly pattern. Let me just take it here all the way to here. 127 levels where price is more likely to retrace back. So 127, you see here, this is where price is more likely to start that new retracement. even stop loss being here, but I wouldn't really take this trade because anyways it's against the momentum. But you know, this is one of those trades that, like, you know, I could still take if I was like sitting on the laptop analyzing the whole day. It's just that obviously now I'm not going to be able to sit and manage and take this trade and manage it, but it's showing that there's a high chance that this is where the start of a retracement can be, and that the retracement is just going to come all the way upwards till here, give us a third touch, and then price goes all the way back upwards. So that is US Tech. Let me see US30 if it gives us also a pattern more like that, where it shows exactly where price can start retracing. Here I can see retraced all the way to the 61.8 level. 61.8 right here, and back up. 127, which is here. So you see, maybe when price gets here, right here is where price can start that retracement, selling, and then once it gets here, buy. So what I'm saying is that the market just doesn't move exactly like, you know, clean buy, clean sell, and all those things. No, the market moves in its own way, and you just need to be able to be patient with how it's moving. And you need to be able to understand, especially with multiple strategies that we got, in order to be able to just capitalize from it. And then price is more likely coming somewhere around here. Then from here, it's that buy that we're going to be seeing. This is gold, one last one, which is gold. So with gold, it's looking clean. It's more like the same thing. You can easily see that price basically, let me just start with the daily just to see what the candle closes were like. And I can see, yes, price has been shooting upwards impulsively, upwards. And right now we're seeing that sell. And we did mention that the dollar is going to be gaining strength, which means that gold, there's a high chance that we're going to be seeing some sell. And obviously this is all-time high, which means that the market is too high right now. And we're not selling because the market is too high, but looking at the technicals as well, you can see this impulse, this correction. Next, it's going to be followed by the impulse nature. So with this, what I'm looking for is, just last week when I was doing this, we spotted this retrace. We also spotted this breakout, another retrace, breakout, another retrace. Obviously now what's coming is a breakout. So with this one here, can easily see that even now I would say the price is slightly ready, because just with the young first take profit here. But ultimately I know that there's actions that we might be looking to come in here is what's making me excited, instead of just looking at, you know, what price is now telling us. But yeah, man, this is just what I'm now seeing on gold, and looking at the management just by looking at it. You can put this here, this is our first touch, second touch, look at it now, third touches. So I think gold is going to be one of those trades for me that I'm going to be, you know, starting the week with, just to be on the safe side, because it's the one that's looking like easy and as well ready right now as we speak. I'm glad that you did happen to find value in this session. Comment below what is your top setup that you are seeing, and as well make sure that you like this video. Check out the very first thing that is in our description. It's going to take you to our Telegram group. I will see you in the next YouTube video. It is your boy Lisba Mutubi.